Hi, welcome. This is Julia Ketsivo. I help entrepreneurs refine their niche and tighten up their marketing so that they can make money. Because if you don't know who your target market is, your marketing plans will fail. So lots of people out there go into business for themselves. And I'm speaking from experience as well as a ton of people that I communicate with on a regular basis and some of the people who end up working with me. So lots of people go into business for themselves and they play business for a while. So we're looking at maybe a year and a half. And between that year and a year and a half, it's the sweet spot, right? Everything is so good. It's so enjoyable. You're like, yes, this is why I quit my job. And when you look back at your books and records and the bank account, you realize, ooh, I was playing at business. So what does that mean? It means that you go out to sell your products and your services. You go out to make your mark in the world by being a business person, but you don't actually do anything related to business. So when you put it at its basic core, it's buying and selling. And that doesn't take place. Instead, it's all the nice frills around business that take place. The networking, the schmoozing, the making friends, alliances. This is dangerous. It's a pretty dangerous game. And for a lot of people that I talk to, they've been playing that game for a while and now realize that maybe time is running out or money is running out, or they're no longer interested in not having any results. Now, I remember when I first started, and went out, social media marketing, networking. So I did a lot of online and offline marketing. You know, I knew how to do that, and I'd go out and I thought, I'm doing my part. And I'll talk to all these different people and try and sell my services, but nothing was happening. Nothing. And I would go through my low states where you're just willing to accept anything, and you do, and then discover that maybe that's not the way to go. It was really hard. Now, I was really determined to succeed, and I was taking my failures pretty personally, and I would spend lots of days and nights just trying to figure out how to market and market successfully. I remember one such time, it was about 3 o'clock in the morning. The lights were all off. I was just sitting there in the darkness with my laptop looking for any white paper, any YouTube video, any Facebook Live, any webinar, any course, anything that could help me market effectively. I felt like I had done it all. And the only thing that I had there for company was my puppy. He was by my feet, just looking at me, trying to figure out when we were going to sleep. I remember I sat back, I was just so frustrated. I was so frustrated. I had worked so hard and I wasn't seeing any of the returns. And I just felt like, okay, I failed. I give up, And then this thought popped into my head. Julia, would you like to listen to another opinion? Never mind the fact that it's 3 o'clock in the morning and these are the thoughts I'm having with myself. I was so desperate. I'm like, yes, I'm willing to listen to another opinion. I'm willing to listen to anything that's going to work, anything within reason that's going to work. And the voice that popped up again, and it said, so why did you get into business? And I said, why did I get into business? I got into business for Jane. So Jane is my client profile. Jane is my avatar, the person that I look for to interact with. And she's a go-getter and she's got all these dreams. She's got such a full life ahead of her. And all she needs is just a plan, structure, accountability, and some very easy steps to follow so that she can actually see these plans through and she can actually start living the life of her dreams. She has so much to offer. And I want to be there for Jane so that she doesn't give up and she doesn't take anything less than what she deserves, especially in terms of fulfilling work. That's why I'm doing this. I'm doing this for Jane, my Jane. And the voice says, okay, so who have you been talking to? Have you been talking to Jane? Talking to Jane. I made the realization that in my marketing, I had not been talking to Jane. I don't know who I had been talking to, but it wasn't Jane. And that's what made all the difference for me. So I started to talk to Jane and my marketing plan started to succeed. my campaigns were landing. Jane was showing up and speaking back with me, and it's that connection that's been made, right? And that resonance and that feeling of understanding and knowledge, and it just made it easier for Jane to find me and for me to find Jane. So what I help people now do is really get specific with who their target market is, because if you don't know who your target market is, your marketing plan will fail, like mine did. And so when I look at all the different reasons that people are not succeeding in their marketing, most of the time it comes down to you just don't have a really good handle on your ideal client as much as you think you do. I do have people who come to work with me. They've been in business for a really long time, 20, 30 years, but their marketing is still not where they'd like it to be. And it's not a matter of throwing money to Facebook ads or any one of these other different things. It's that they, for the 20, 30 years, have been in general practice. Nothing wrong with that. But for the people who come to me, they're looking to hit specific goals. And this really is tied to their dreams. So maybe they're looking for a certain type of retirement plan, or they're looking to grow their business the way they imagined it when they first started, before they ended up accepting less than and ended up with this brick and mortar place that pays the bills but is not very exciting to go to work to. So this is a very exciting thing for me to do, because I help people figure out who their Jane is and how to speak with Jane so that Jane will buy. Now, what I'm going to show you today is how to get extraordinary clients. Now listen, clients are clients are clients. I just throw in the word extraordinary because it just sounds better and I like it that way. Plus, isn't it awesome when you have extraordinary clients, because they go on to do extraordinary things and they make you look so good. Your clients make you look good. Your clients are a reflection of you in the business world. A lot of credence is placed on people when we say, I'm working with this person or that person, and they look at you, they already hold you in high esteem. So they imagine that the person you're working with is even greater. It's all perception. It's how it goes. As much as we'd like to think that that's not our society, it's all perception. So this is how you're going to get your extraordinary client. Now, if you find yourself in any one of these situations, just let me know. And trust me, been there, done that. And I've helped lots of people in these kinds of situations as well. So you wake up in the morning, it's Monday morning, you wake up, you're sitting at your laptop, or you've got your phone out, you've got your notebook and your pen, and you're ready to go. You did all the meditation the night before, you set up a plan. If you're in my closed book, I have a Target Monday day, and what I do is I ask people to write down the names of the people they'll contact throughout the list of 10 people. We call it Target Monday, and what we do is we target 10 people or 10 types of places that we want to go out, and we start initiating the work. So maybe you're sitting down and you're looking at your laptop and you're raring to go, but you don't. You're sort of stuck. And then the next hour or an hour and a half is spent on Facebook or other social media, just going down a rabbit hole where, you make the sad mistake of looking at a kitty blowing a candle, and before you know it, you're now watching balloons float off into the sky, and it's been a couple of hours and you haven't done anything. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but you get the idea. Or maybe you look at your calendar, your digital calendar or your physical calendar, and what you don't see are the appointments that have been booked in, and you also don't see the money that's coming in. So when you look back at your calendar for the last few months, there are all these gaps in there, which means that you haven't been on the phone speaking with people, you haven't been out connecting, and you haven't been making any money. Or maybe you want to be a little bit more purposeful about your time. You want to go out networking, but you're not interested in going out to every network event. And there's so many things out there. Like any given day, there's so many choices that you have. And I would know, I'm in event planning. I plan my own events. And, any given time, it's not lost on me that I am competing against a lot of people and a lot of established people as well. So maybe you're sitting at home and you want to go out and network, but you don't want to waste your time. And you want to make sure that your actions bring results. Maybe not immediately, in the long term. You just want what you do to make sense and to be right for you, right? So if you're any of the above examples, you're in the right place. When I say I'm going to show you how to find your extraordinary client, how to attract your extraordinary client, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to figure out your ideal client, your version of Jane. And you got to give him or her a name and where you're going to find her and what sort of information she's looking for. And what I'll do is I'll also show you how you can learn more about the way I work a little bit after this. Now, if you feel like you're taking all the right actions and you're not getting any results, so you're going out on social media, posting, you have no problem doing that. You have no problem connecting with people that you know and don't know. You have no problem with emails, blog posts, networking events. You know, you've even got postcards, you've even sent out postcards in the mail. As far as you're concerned, you're doing everything under the sun to get clients, but you're still not getting clients. Well, I'll tell you this, all of that effort is incredible and it's great. But if you don't have a definitive person in mind, then you sort of will miss the mark. Now, we all don't want to we don't want to close ourselves off from business by choosing a specific type of person to work with. And by no means am I saying close the doors, but what I am saying is that there is value in having a good grasp of who Jane is and what she wants to know and where she wants to receive that kind of information so that you can specifically go out there and find her rather than being a jack of all trades with your information, because that's what happens when you go out to all kinds of networking events, when you just posting out on social media without any idea if the people on your social media are even in your target group. When you're writing blog posts, but you only have, 9, 10 engaged people, you barely have a list, you're not growing it, you're not having sales conversations, money is not going on in the account, then it's time to look at your ideal client and realize that that's the first step. You've got to know who she is. You've got to know who your target market is. You've got to know who your ideal client is and then where you specifically fit in. Now, don't worry, I'm going to help you get there. So what I like to do is just give you a quick example of a woman, Gina. When she came to work with me, Gina was transitioning from one career into another, and she had been in one for, again, about 3 decades, so she really knew her stuff. That wasn't the problem. The problem is that she had come up with a version of Jane that didn't seem to hold true to her. So for Gina, what she found was that she wasn't going out to meet Jane. She wasn't going out to connect. She wasn't making calls. She wasn't following up. She wasn't doing anything like that at all. In fact, she was still taking care of the people in her previous practice, staying where it was safe and comfortable. Now, when she first came out to me, it looked on the surface like she just needed to accept the new stage in life that she was in and the new clientele she was going for and just get to it. But after we had a conversation, a focused strategy conversation, and what she came to realize was that she really did not have a good grasp on her Jane. And the reason why she wasn't willing to go out and network and connect is because she had no idea who she was supposed to be connecting with. After our work together, Gina walked out with a very clear, specific type of person that she was going to be addressing. She knew what the conversation starters would be. She knew where she would be finding her. She knew where she would connect and how she would maintain that relationship. More importantly, she knew her pricing structures and how she would take her from the place where she was in pain to the place where, all is well in the world, and Gina would get paid. And all of this happened within a relatively short time. Now, ongoing support obviously ensures that Gina stays on track and that she continues to grow and stick to the plan, and that's how she's reaping her rewards. Now, what I'd like you to do is an exercise to figure out who your Jane is. And you're going to give this person a name. Now, you could have 2 or 3 Janes. You could have 1, 2, or 3. What I'll do is I'll speak about 1. Now, if you find that you serve different types of people with your business, then you want to make sure that they are completely different entities, that you're not mixing up the two. They all have different needs. They all have different price points probably, and they all have different places that you will serve them. So for example, if you are speaking with people who are do-it-yourself, the way that they seek information is not the same as the people who want done for you products and services. They will need separate channels for that. So it's very important for you to keep those distinctions between them. Now, you're going to put down around 7 points, and this is what's going to help you figure out your Jane. Now, these 7 points are going to help you know who you're talking to, where to find her, and even what to say, and also what's really going to make her buy from you. I'm going to give these points to you, but if you're looking for a more detailed template and something that's really going to help you out, there's a link at the top that and in the comment that is to book a time to chat with me, and as a bonus I'll throw this template in for you so that you can have this completed before we have our talk. I will let you know a little bit later on what that chat is about, but if you're looking for more information, I definitely will have that template available for you. So this is what we're looking at with a template to figure out your ideal client. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to write a story. Now, this is how I like to write my templates. Now, the people who've been with me in my courses and in my programs and in my workshops, they know that I take that hardcore business language and I translate it into very easy, digestible terms. I turn everything into stories and I break them up into little pieces that you can easily digest so that you do go through your business fundamentals. However, you're not trying to get over the jargon or the hard language or the paper structure that just makes everything look so intimidating. Now, this is what we're going to do here. We're going to write a story, and this story is going to take care of our client profile. Our story is going to start from the moment that your client decided to seek help. A lot of times we go out looking for people who have specific problems, but what we never ask is, are they looking for help? Do they want a solution to their problem? Because there is comfort in paying. I mean, we know a lot of people who love to complain, and they will complain about everything. And if you offer solutions, they're the first ones to shut each one of them down. They're pretty happy where they are. They may say that they're miserable and that they want a way out, but their actions show that they actually don't. So what you want to do is to make sure that you are attracting the person who has a problem and doesn't want to stay in the problem or be a problem. So the first thing you're going to start off your story with is, for example, Jane has decided, and then you're going to fill in the blank. And the blank is the type of help that you are specifically going to give. So for my example, it is Jane has decided that she wants to invest in a coach who will help her build her business and generate clients. Now, I want you to do the same for you. So what has your Jane decided? That's the first point. The second point is, what does Jane already have in place? You're going to write down all the things that Jane already has in place. For my example, she's got the business need and solution figured out. She's got her pricing structures, but she needs a plan and she needs a structure to follow. So what does your Jane have? The third thing that you're going to write down is what she's looking for, and this is really important. An example for that is Jane's looking for the person she resonates with, someone who's successful and also has a heart. Now, that would be for my version of Jane. This is the part that makes you different. This is the part that makes you stand out. So what is Jane looking for? So you see this? We start off with what Jane has decided. We move on to what she already has, and then we go into what she's looking for, right? Not what she needs, but what she's looking for. And for point number 4, what does she want to know? Now, you have to put yourself in your client's point of view and choose and figure things out from the way they see the world, not the way you see it, but the way they see it. So what does your Jane need? In my example, my Jane wants to know how she can grow her business. So what does your Jane need? What is she looking for? Very specific, very forward-moving, very much action-oriented. Number 5, what is her financial disposition? So how is she going to pay you? Now, for me, my example is Jane has funds that she can pull to invest. Now, what about yours? Now, are you the type of person who's offering services that are eligible under an insurance plan? Or is this something that someone is pulling from their savings, their daytime job, full-time job? How is your Jane going to be paying for your services? Number 6, how does she find information? Again, not you, but your Jane, and thinking specifically about what they need and where they are and what they're looking for. For my example, Jane looks for information in blogs and sites such as LinkedIn, Facebook, and she also reads articles such as Entrepreneur, Inc., and Forbes. These are the channels that you're going to be using, right, to find your Jane. So it's not where you're comfortable or where you feel safe. A lot of people will go out to networking events. It's a safe thing to do. And of course, you must connect. But if your Jane is not in any one of those networking groups, and if you don't have any partners in there who have access to your Jane, then you'd rather take the time to develop the skill set, writing articles or having someone write articles on your behalf, because that's where your Jane is going to be. And this is just an example of just the kind of clarity you need and the action you'll have to take so that you can connect with Jane. Number 7, one of the most important, what will move her to action? What will move her to action? So far, we know what Jane has decided. We know what she already has in place. We know what she needs. We know what she wants to know. We know what her financial disposition is, and we know where she finds her information. Now, what we need right now is something that's going to move her to action. So she's consumed what you've provided, or she's seen you, wants to know more. Well, what's going to make her move into action? 2 things. The first is that you're going to highlight her pain so well. You're going to show that you have a deep understanding of what she's going through. And number 2, you're going to show that you have the solution. And how do you do this? You do this through stories and testimonials. If you remember at the beginning, I told a story about my own marketing efforts that were not landing and how I spent all this time and energy just trying to put myself out there and not seeing any results. So for the people who are my Jane, that story resonates with them. They know exactly what that feels like because that's where they are right now. And they're happy to know that I'm not there right now. And they're listening for more information that will let them know that I have the solution. So an example is telling the story of Gina and how she came to me without having a clear understanding of how to get her clients. And that by the time we were done with our work together, she had successfully transitioned into her new practice, had got her ideal client, knew exactly where to get her, and was starting to book up her calendar. So you're going to use stories and you're going to use testimonials, and this is how you're going to show that you do know what you're talking about and you do have the solution. Now, obviously, each business is different. And as much as we all may be in the same industry or sector, the things that make us unique, the things that set us apart, make your marketing strategies and your versions of Jane a little bit different. So the information that I give you is great for you to have a really good start on beginning to figure out where to approach your person, how to approach your person, what to say. But when we're looking at your very specific and unique business, I do need to have a chat with you. And so what I'm offering you today is a focus breakthrough session. And this is where I help you nail down your Jane, the specifics, and where you can find her so that you no longer, wake up on Monday and look down on your pad of paper and start twiddling with gadgets and going on Facebook because you have no idea where to start. I'm going to help you nail your ideal client and know where to find her so that when you're setting up your calendar with the networking events and with the different marketing activities, you're not wasting your time and you're not putting your focus and energy where you should not. Imagine after our conversation, you walk out and you know exactly who you're going to contact, you know exactly what you're going to say, and you know exactly what you can start to look forward to in terms of revenue and in terms of impact, not just for that day or week, but for the rest of the year. Wouldn't that be incredible? So by the end of the conversation, you'll know who you're looking for, you'll know what to say, you'll know where to find her. Now, in our call, I'm going to, we'll first figure out where you are, and then I'm going to help you see the plan, the next steps that are going to give you the result that you're looking for, and within a relatively short time. This is a complimentary call to you. It's at no cost. And the reason is that while we will spend as much time as we can together, I will, this is also to see if we're a right fit to work with each other. And it is my gift for you. It's also market research for me. I love to speak with people because they tell me what's going on, and I get to keep on top of things in that way as well, since I'm building my own business. But this is something that I love to do, and to get on the phone and to really let's just hash it out. Now, how you do this, there's a link. There's a link, a Calendly link. If you can go ahead and click that link and book your time. When you do so in the next, let's say, 48 hours, I will send out a template. I will send you a template that's going to allow you to fill out the information that I provided here in this broadcast, and we're going to use this on our call. So this is already going to really help you figure out, before you speak with me, where you're going to find your Jane and what you're going to say. So the link again is included, and I'd like to thank you for spending your time here with me. Let's look forward to an incredible new year, and let's start the practice now. Let's get into the system now. So again, book your time with me. I'll send you out the template. If you do this within the next 48 hours, let's get on the call. And after the call, imagine having your calendar booked with appointments. Imagine looking ahead and knowing that you're getting that revenue coming in, knowing that your marketing activities are going to pay off, and all you did was just get super, super clear on who your ideal client was. Isn't that amazing?